are Trump's tariffs making money? Check this out, folks, when you look at this chart, okay? Are Trump's tariffs making money? Besant gave a number of what he thinks is going to be making, okay? Besant says it could make us $1 trillion. It could make us a lot of money. Rob, how much money have we made so far? Do you have the number on how much money we made so far?
It says $142.2 billion more than this time last year. It doesn't say it total.
$142 billion more than it made last year, and a growth of 174%. But is it enough to replace the income tax as a main source of funding for the federal government, as Trump administration officials argued? Treasury Department data shows that'll be a massive stretch. Tariff revenue has grown for months, and the latest showing that the U.S. has collected $223 billion. It's pretty wild. As of October 31st, $142 billion more than last year, but it's still short of the $2.4 trillion federal income tax brought in last year. You can tell when you're reading this article, it's kind of like, yes, it did bring $142 billion more, but there's no way you can get $2.4 trillion. Tom, your thoughts on the story?
Oh, yeah. Like you're comparing it to one full year of income tax. It's like we're really, really proud that, Brooklyn Bet David has reached 3 foot tall, but that's still far short of Shaquille O'Neal's 7'2". It's like, what the hell? Really? He just got started. This comparison, it's far short of. Look, I think you look at what it's brought in. Number one, it brought in more, $142 billion more. Number two is that it is not showing up as 5, 6, 7, 10% inflation with the inflation algebra that's tortured numbers anyway, which isn't really what it's supposed to be. And so I look at it and I'm like, this is a success, but they will take any opportunity. And this is Politico, fun with charts with people that don't normally play with spreadsheets. And it's very aggravating to me because this is good. This is good because inflation didn't happen, yet world concessions to equalize the trade that we have happened. So why can't we look at that and say, wow, we're just getting warmed up. Can we do more?
Yeah, but what people don't look at is that that's $142 billion that is less treasuries that have to be issued. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're issuing less treasuries means that you don't have to incent people to buy them with a higher interest rate. It actually helps interest rates improve. So while you could look at just the negatives, right? I'm with you 100%. People just look at the negatives, right? The negatives say, okay, well, a third of it's being paid by the country that the goods are coming from. Great. But the consumers here are bearing some of the burden, as are some of the distributing channels here. So it's spread out. However, if we didn't have that, we'd probably be looking at higher interest rates than we would have currently.
And when you say treasuries, that's us printing treasury bills that we sell around the world to get cash to pay our own bills. Mm-hmm. And it's people such as who that are buying those. Who's number one?
Well, you're seeing right now, we're probably buying more of them domestically.
Yeah.
Because we
but
don't.
The number one international buyer typically last 3 years is Japan.
Number one. But they have really slowed down to almost neutral now as far as what's rolling off.
I want you to see this chart. Rob, can you pull up this chart here? Watch this. The spike. You don't need to understand tariffs or numbers to not understand this chart. This chart tells you what's happened, not this one, Rob, the tariff revenue, that one right there. You got it. Look at that. That's 2022. Monthly, we're averaging around $10 billion of revenue coming in for the last few years, 3 years. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, boom, 20. Boom, 25, 27, 29, 30, 30, 30. October's going to end up being 32 to 34 billion in a single month. That's nearly 4xing some months combined. Okay, you take 4 months combined, we did that in 1 month. So, the sustainability of that, and then now, there are some companies, and Tom, I'm going to come to you with this one as well. Businesses press Supreme Court to strike down Donald Trump's emergency tariff power. Rob, I think you do have a clip on this one from Financial Times. Businesses, lawmakers, and former U.S. officials are pressing U.S. Supreme Court to rule against Donald Trump's use of emergency tariffs powers ahead of the showpiece hearing this week. About 40 legal briefs have been filed by groups ranging from U.S. Chamber of Commerce to former national security officials in opposition to the signature policy of U.S. president has relied on to wage his trade wars. Go ahead, Rob.
This is Trump from 60 Minutes explaining the importance of tariffs.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Economy. The signature part of your economic plan is tariffs. The Supreme Court is going to hear arguments this week on whether you have the authority to impose these sweeping tariffs without congressional approval. The lower courts have ruled against you. That's why it's in the Supreme Court right now.
Very close rulings, yeah.
What happens to your economic plan if the Supreme Court invalidates your tariffs?
I think our country will be immeasurably hurt. I think our economy will go to hell. Look, because of tariffs, we have the highest stock market we've ever had. Because of tariffs, 401ks at the highest level, and this is millions and millions of people that we've ever had, 401ks. I think it's the most important subject discussed by the Supreme Court in 100 years.
Okay, so Tom, thoughts?
Businesses press Supreme Court. I'd like to see some CEOs talking. Right now, we've got the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, reputable group, and you've got former national security officials in opposition. Go take a look at what happens when people that work in defense or national security go back to the private sector. They end up on the boards of international, multinational companies, often lobbying against us to help those companies profit wildly with trade deals that are tilted the other way. I mean, let's be real about it. Because through the miracle of cross listings, sometimes those companies also are traded on our stock market. It's amazing to me to see this. I want to know if someone's willing to put their head up above the water and say, me, this company, me. No one's doing that. These are groups of people. And the Financial Times says businesses without naming a single CEO.
There's three businesses. They're not large businesses either. That's what it is. So they say it, but it's three. And what's being challenged is, does the president have the authority under this IEPA, this emergency protection, under the fact that the president would have authority if it's national security? So when he first did it, it was because of fentanyl, which you could argue is national security. But now what they also have is the point that you made, the chips with China. So that is also something that he's using tariffs to protect us from having to give this technology to China by using leverage over NVIDIA. So these are potentially arguments that should win with national security. I believe that he has appointed 3 members of the Supreme Court, and I believe that the Supreme Court does. What is the number of the Supreme Court that is Republican?
We're 6-3 right
6-3,
now.
yes.
And
So
Gorsuch, Comey, and Comey Barrett, and then he also always can rely on Clarence. So yeah, it's 6-3 right now.
So I think there's a reasonable chance that this is upheld, that the tariffs are. It would be awful to think about if we had to unwind them, and then how much egg do we have on our face as a nation?
Yeah, and all of his leverage goes away too. I mean, there was a point, Rob, I sent you a chart. There was a point in time where tariffs were 90% of the national revenue. I love this chart here. And Pat, you made a great video that has like over 1 million views about how we could replace the entire national income or the federal budget with a combination of tariffs and claiming money that other countries owe us. So, I mean, look at this. Like, this shows everything with, look at what the big dips go down when we have wars. You know, the first one, Civil War, then World War I, then World War II. That's when percentage of tariffs as national revenue goes way down. And today, like since the 50s, it's went to like less than 1%. But it could get up to $1 trillion. We're only at like 7% right now for an average of tariffs across the board. So like with a combination of deals and rates, we could get to $1 trillion. It's funny they're trying to take a jab at this as if we're like not in a successful place with $300 billion. Like, we sent $300 billion to Ukraine, so that's a whole Ukraine payment.
But what would happen? Think about it. If it is struck down, then the chart that you showed with all that revenue, we'd have to give that back. How do you even unwind that?
Well, couldn't he executive order that saying it is a matter of national security if they strike it down?
No, it's not a zero-sum thing. Where does the money come from? You'd have to issue treasuries.
Oh, for the tariff revenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The money got spent.
Right. No, I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they would tie his hands behind his back like that, because that's what it would do. Like that's the leverage he's using for
That would
everything.
be terrible.
You know what that's like? That's like calling you and telling you, hey, we want you to be the CEO of Apple, but you can't make any changes to the comp. You can't make any changes to culture. You can't make any changes to anything, but we just want you to be a figurehead. Can I do anything? The board keeps shutting you down. No. Well, the stock, shareholders voted me in, but no. Thank God it's 6-3 right now, because if it was the other way around, imagine you become president. What we did learn during Biden's administration is that the single greatest thing that happened the last 60 years in politics is President Trump flipping 3 seats. Mm-hmm. That's what we learned. Look at that. Look at Neil, Brett, and Amy. All of them have what name next to it? Trump. 17, 18, 20. I don't think it's ever happened when you flip 3 seats.
In 4 years, too.
In 4 years. And Obama flipped 1 and 8.
Yeah.
Think about that. Rob, can you verify how many times Obama flipped? I think Obama flipped 2 and 8, if I'm not mistaken. 1 in first, 1 in second. I don't know what the number was on one of them, but I don't know what, it could be 1 and 8. The single greatest thing happened. People don't realize if that number, those 3 don't flip, when Colorado decided to remove, it was 2 of them, right, Rob?
Yep.
Yeah. When Colorado decided to remove President Trump on the ballot, if it was 6-3, even 5-4, this is a very different America we're living in today. 2026 is around the corner. Craziness is going on. For some of you guys that have big plans for 2026, I will remind you, whatever you do, do not go into 2026 without a business plan. It'll be a big mistake you're making. There are way too many moving parts. Every year when we do the business planning workshop, I openly talk about what threats and events we're concerned about happening the next year. We openly share with you. Here's what we're looking at. Here's what we're seeing as possible enemy. And here's what we're seeing as an operator, the opportunities that exist for us. And we openly share it with you. We share with you how we're growing our YouTube channel and our media company, what our consulting firm is going. We're sharing our strategies with you. If you're somebody watching and saying, I'm sick and tired of playing small, I want to take my life and my business to the next level, the business planning workshop on December 12th is for you. But number 2, if you're somebody that's running a business and you are already a millionaire, we have a lot of people that watch this content. You're doing 10 million a year, 100 million a year. Maybe you're doing a billion a year. You got a couple thousand employees, but you've gotten to a point where you're bored and it's repetitive. And it's just kind of like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. This is a very, very good event to even wake you up as a leader of the company. So quietly, you can kind of get on the business planning workshop. It's not something that you have to be physically here, from anywhere in the world. So if you haven't yet registered yet, click on a link below. Get registered. December 12th, let's spend an entire day together. We go through a 200-page manual together, which everybody will get. Or you can go to bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. Again, bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. Looking forward to seeing you guys there on December 12th. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.